Hey guys, we need a little backstory for this one. We're doing something pretty different today, as I haven't done too many game-inspired makeups yet, and when I have, they were already out and well known. But today's look is centered around one look from one character, whose name we don't even know, in one trailer for a new game that has a lot of buzz around it but isn't out yet, and has no current release date. Yeah, I know. It sounds weird to pull a look from that, but let me tell you why this is going to be super cool. Death Stranding is the first solo project from director Hideo Kojima. Kojima is most well known for creating the Metal Gear Solid series, but he's not just known for his cinematic game directing. Oh no. You guys already know that I love using unconventional ways to engage with my audience for new pieces of content, i.e. stuff like the Paranormal Activity fake livestream or the Harley Quinn picture leak. Well, this guy is a master of that sort of thing. This dating all the way back to the PlayStation 1 days where players first had their minds blown by Kojima. So during one of the boss fights in Metal Gear Solid 1, an enemy was able to tell gamers what other games they had been playing by reading off the memory card. Which might not sound like a lot to you now, but at the time that was crazy because nothing like that had ever been done before. That leading all the way up to more recently with Metal Gear Solid 5, a game centered around fake identities where Kojima-san created a fake game company and released the first trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5 under a different title, just for the purpose of playing into that whole theme. So why Death Stranding is going to be amazing and why it's got a ton of buzz around it is because Kojima is already creating a huge interconnected webby mystery designed to engage the players years before the release of this game. Thousands of fans are already trying to decipher two seemingly very parallel trailers and a slew of additional clues that have come out for the game so far. Basically, it's a giant mystery, and no one knows what's going on, and that's why it's so fun. So, if you're interested in getting in on the mystery and theorizing, I'll leave some links in the description to videos by people who compare the two trailers and try to piece together what the fluff is going on. All this to say, I don't know who this cool looking guy is. Well, besides that he's played by Mads Mikkelsen. But he's wearing modern army fatigues, he's surrounded by skeletal World War II paramilitary soldiers, he's got black goo on his face that we can maybe assume is oil, but who really knows? And Kojima has said he's considered to be the antagonist. But again, can we even trust that? All I know is, he's cool looking, I'm excited for this game, therefore, we're doing it. Also, Norman Reedus is naked in the first trailer, so just a fun fact for you there. Alright, so I've already got foundation on and brows. If you've been here a while, you know by now that even though I start with no makeup in some tutorials, I generally think it's pretty repetitive, boring, and a time waster to go over the base, and my process of putting on eyebrows isn't relatable to most zombies, so unless the base or brows are stylized towards the look, I like to skip it. But now that I've wasted time going over that, let's get into the fun stuff. I'm taking a black eye pencil and, well actually come closer. No, not that way, this way. Yes, hello. Just kidding, it won't focus on me here. How about here? Yeah? No? Still? The camera has space issues today. I started lining my eyes very sloppily, upper and lower lash lines, because if you missed it in the intro, this look is messy, but that's why it's so cool. And somewhere along the way, I missed me actually really doing this step, but you'll see how it ended up. Pretty much just scribbly eyeliner. Then I'm taking a matte black eyeshadow and I'm going to messily start patting that over the liner and lid. My camera was really just not having it today. I'm sorry. My name's Blurry Face. Please do not spam me with 1,000,021 Pilots comments. Thank you. So yes, this is a glam basic we often use because it's the best way to get a base for any kind of black eye, except this kind. But if it's your first time seeing it, it's just that the black liner under black shadow acts as a good base for keeping the color in place and dark. Usually we'll be making it much prettier, but not today, Glam Satan, not today. I don't even know what I'm saying. Do some messy smokiness underneath there too. Our main dude isn't wearing a pretty smoky eye, obviously. His eyes are just really dark with this oily stuff, but if you want to make it a little more structured or glam, you can cut down on the mess for this. I went about halfway between accurate recreation and glam. Use a fluffy brush to fluff it all up and make it a mess. Here is your chance to revel in every bad makeup day you've ever had where things just wouldn't come out right. And don't tell me that that's every day, because I know that's not true. But you get to do that today, on purpose. Live it up. Smudge it up top, smudge it underneath, use your hands, use tissues, wipe off half your foundation, be a slob, but don't skip your mascara, because that shit's important. You actually don't need to use mascara if you don't want to. I'm just using it because my eyelashes are blonde and they would stick out against the black otherwise. Oh, just kidding. I put lashes on for this? Jesus. The addiction really is real. Well, I mean, our main guy doesn't wear clavicle-length platinum wigs either, so I guess since we're already breaking it in that aspect, then lashes are back on the table. Whatever helps me sleep at night. Okay, so onto those cool drippy oil strands whose gravity-defying placement on his face remain a mystery for now. You can just paint these on with liquid liner or aqua paints, but if you want them 3D like his in a relatively cheap and easy way, use liquid latex. To make the latex black like this oily goo though, we'll need to add something to it. And you should experiment with what you got. There are FX products made specifically for coloring latex, but you can also use more accessible things like black makeup products that you already have. Black eye blood, crushed up black shadow, black aqua paint, black grease or cream paint. I tried mixing this with food coloring even, but I did didn't like the end result, so I used the black cream paint because that seemed to work the best. So I pour a bunch of that into my latex and mix it up thoroughly. Now, you might add a lot of black cream paint and notice that you can only get it to this charcoal gray color, but that's actually just where you want it to be because this will dry to a black, believe it or not. See? That is from this mix. But before I start making a mess with the latex, I quickly mapped out where these oily strands will go with a small angled brush dipped into that black eyeshadow from before, following reference pictures of Mystery Man as well as I could. Some of the areas behind these strands are messy and smeared, so I did that as I went here. You'll want to do that with eyeshadow now rather than smearing the latex later because it just won't really have the same kind of effect. And at the time of filming this, there's not a ton of good reference shots, but it does look like these strands go down his neck as well, so don't leave your neck naked. Okay, now to get the latex onto your face in these thin, squiggly strands. There's a few ways you can do it, but some are better than others. The simplest way is to take some sort of thin tool. I'm using a small pointed palette knife, but you could use a toothpick or a manicure stick or the end of a brush or the end of a business card even by dipping the end in latex and dragging it down along your lines. It's a little difficult and time consuming to get clean lines with this method, but it is the most accessible. But if you have the time to order something offline and you got some monies, then I would recommend grabbing something like this. It will make this look 10 times easier to do, and it actually is a lot more fun. Kind of feels like you're doing pastry decorations on your face that you can't eat. I got this dropper bottle with a blunt needle tip from Cosmetics. You might have seen that name on this channel before when... These are only 35 cents each, but since it's a supply type site, you need to spend a minimum of $25, which I think is really easy to spend on that site since it's like a playground of organizing and sanitizing makeup stuff. But anywho, I know it's oddly specific and no, I'm not being paid to push this little 35-cent thing, but it really was absolutely perfect for this application, so it'd be silly not to mention it. I just shoved our black latex mixture into the bottle and squoze away. Is squoze a word? That can't be a word. Squeezed doesn't quite sound right either though, but that's probably the right word. Yeah, no, it's squeezed. Okay, anyway. When you're done going over all your lines and they've turned black, you'll know that they're dry. Then you can shave off all your hair or put on a wig cap and slap on a platinum gray colored wig of your choice to match our Mystery Man's hair. Last minute, I went back in with some black shadow on a sea sponge to add more of that dirty smeared texture, but beyond that, the look is done. This look is really simple, right? But it's pretty darn badass looking if you ask me. This tutorial is about as premature as the time I did a Harley Quinn tutorial over a year before Suicide Squad's release date, but hey, I get overly excited about some things, okay? But for that reason, a lot of who this man is, what his role will be in the game, and why his face is full of this stuff remains a mystery for now. And like I said, if Hideo Kojima's track record is any indication, this whole thing is meant to be a big mystery to set up something really epic. So even if this is your first time hearing about this game or the game director, I hope you dig the aesthetics of this look as much as I do, and I hope it leads you down the rabbit hole of what is sure to be a really, probably just so cool game. Okay, bye.